As usual, the anti-national Indian media betting for the separatist propaganda by spreading lies of non-existent blockade of Kashmir Valley or shortage of medicines, etc. And now watch the duel between devil's advocate, or as we call it, separatist advocate Ibn-CNN Sardesai and the nationalist ArunJaitley.
Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate. Is the BJP guilty of inflaming separatism in the valley because it's put its own interests before those of the country? That's the key issue I shall explore today with the General Secretary of the party, ArunJaitley. Mr. Jaitley, let's start with the BJP's role in Jammu. How do you justify the fact that a party that preaches nationalism is deliberately pursuing a policy that's inflaming separatism in the Kashmir valley?
Well, I think you are being too naive when you ask this question. Do you seriously think that the separatists in the valley have relaunched this separatist movement merely because of the land issue?
Absolutely.
They were absolutely not.
They've been given the opportunity because of the land issue.
Absolutely not, and let's not be naive. We've been naive for the last 60 years, those who subscribe to that thought, and I won't be naive. And let me answer it. First, the separatists lied to the whole country, to the whole world, saying that Hindu colonization would come up in the valley. There was nobody in the valley, not even the state government or the central government, which countered that propaganda. The separatists lied to the whole world, saying there is an economic blockade. Nobody was willing to counter that. We were the ones who are countering it.
I'm afraid.
And today, we are the ones who are saying that the land transfer is pursuant to a law enacted by the state legislature, pursuant to a direction of the High Court. Why should it not be implemented?
All right, I'll let you have your say in full without interrupting you. Now let me reply. First of all, it wasn't the separatists alone who reacted to the land transfer. The PDP and the National Conference Party, who are not separatist parties, were just as vehement about it.
That's the tragedy.
Well, that's a fact. Secondly,
that's a tragic fact.
It's a fact though. The second point is that when it comes to the blockade, there was a blockade. Figures released by the Jammu and Kashmir Horticultural Department, a part of the official government, prove that between the 1st of August and the 17th of August this year, only 890 trucks bearing fruit came from Srinagar to the Banihal Pass, whereas last year during the same dates, the figure was 2,148. The fall is nearly 60%.
Let's be very clear. If you have a Bandh in Jammu and a curfew in Jammu for 50 days, if you have a curfew in the valley for 30 days plus, business is bound to go down.
It didn't.
I have gone to the valley myself. We asked the army, the district administration, as to what is the position. They gave us daily figures. This was not the apple season, this was the Babu Gosha season. And they said, there is nothing lying on record in the stocks. We have today 90 trucks waiting at the sabzi mandis, and there is nothing to be loaded on it. It was a false propaganda. Any fall on traffic could be because of the Bandh and the curfews. The fall in traffic was not because of any economic blockade.
The fall in the traffic was because your ministers of the Punjab government, Manoranjan Kalia and Mohan Lal, were actively creating a blockage at Madhavpur. Both of them let me finish. Both of them camped at Pathankot. They implemented a blockade, and more importantly, they personally obstructed trucks from Jammu and Kashmir, and you can't deny that.
This is absolutely incorrect.
They haven't denied it. How can you?
I am denying it for the reason. There were protests in Jammu, there were protests in Punjab, which led to the disruption of traffic. The BJP leadership, the Akali Dal leadership in Punjab, personally intervened and said, protest on any road, but not on the highway, because the highway may lead to a stoppage of traffic.
Forgive me, Mr.
Any
Jaitley.
stoppage of traffic on a traffic because of a protest
Mr.
is
Jaitley,
not a blockade.
You're wrong. Your own MLA Dinesh Kumar Babu said this. He boasted about it. He said, I led the agitation. We will not allow J&K trucks to ply in Punjab. At Madhavpur, he stopped them.
One day there was a problem because of a demonstration. They were told to keep their demonstrations outside the national highway.
The fact of the matter is that the drug controller in Jammu and Kashmir had to appeal for the airlifting of drugs. He did it officially. The Divisional Commissioner Kashmir wrote to the All India Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Association to arrange supplies from other cities.
Again, half-truth.
Complete truth.
Half-truth, because the drug controller and the divisional commissioner, when they appeared before the all-party committee, said the distributors of these medicines were in Jammu. Because there was curfew and Bandh in Jammu, they could not get it, and therefore the manufacturers must directly supply it to the valley.
No.
Now, it was not
That's
because of
the
any
half-truth.
blockade.
No, I'm afraid that's the half-truth.
Well, I heard the divisional commissioner myself. You didn't hear him.
No.
And therefore the divisional commissioner told the all-party delegation this was obstructed because of the Band and the curfew in Jammu. So we asked the manufacturers, and we've never had a short supply.
The reason it's a half-truth is because you haven't answered the question, why was that an obstruction taking place? And the reason is this: drivers were scared to cross, as a result of which
Yes, that's true.
JK02 traffic doesn't go north and JK01 doesn't
Well,
come
let me
south.
tell you-
At Ramban, every traffic
Let me
stops,
tell you-
which is why there is a blockade, which is why people's
Again, a
livelihoods are
partial
suffering.
tainted presentation of fact. Drivers on both sides were scared. Drivers on both sides were scared. And that is why drivers need security. And we were told that security was being provided
And
to
that
drivers.
is why, in fact, as a result, the valley felt cut off. That is why
The
a
valley was
later
never cut off.
separatism was
Let's be
inflamed.
very clear. I visited the valley. Not a single packet of fruit was lying in the valley which had to be transported out. The divisional commissioner said they have abundance of medicines which they have directly brought to the valley.
Forgive me, Mubin Shah, the president of the Kashmir Chamber of Commerce, says that if the fruit industry in Kashmir is worth 2,500 crore, it suffered a loss this year of 1,000 crore. That is almost 40%.
Well, Mubin Shah is a part of the Hurriyat. He refused to meet the all-party delegation. He was leading those trucks which were going to Muzaffarabad. He was preventing the trucks from being loaded at the sabzi mandis which the divisional commissioner had put up. 90 trucks had been put up, and he was preventing that to be done up. Let us not take his statement to be the gospel.
All right,
truth.
let's look then at a core fact that you seem to have brought. Let's go away from the tutu meme of facts and let's come to the reality. You know that Kashmir is a different state to any other in India. It's disputed between India and Pakistan. It's an unresolved matter if you take the Lahore Declaration, which your government signed. In those circumstances, let me finish, in those circumstances, to persist with the blockade when it had led to calls for the opening up of the Muzaffarabad border was to pour oil on fire. You did that. You inflamed sentiments that were latent. You created a secession.
Anybody who says that there was an economic blockade is trying to give weight to the falsehood spread by the separatists that there was a blockade. The army's position is no blockade. The government of India's position is no blockade. The Sangharsh Samiti told us there was never a blockade. There won't be a blockade.
Hospitals are complaining of shortage of medicine.
No, we were
Shopkeepers
told.
are complaining of shortage of vegetables. Others are complaining of shortage of meat.
We were told by the divisional commissioner that there is a sufficiency of medicines as far as hospitals are concerned. The governor maintained that. Let's not go by the Hurriyat propaganda.
I'm not going by the Hurriyat propaganda.
Yes.
I'm going by the Indian Express, the Times of India, the Hindustan Times. Almost every
I am
journalist
going
worth his name
I am going
proves
by
it.
what the district administration there has told us, what the hospital administration has told us, what the army administration there has told us. And let me tell you, Kashmir is not going to be, I do not accept this proposition of Kashmir being disputed. It may be Pakistan's unfinished agenda after Pakistan, after
The
independence.
Lahore Declaration signed by your government calls it an outstanding issue. That clearly means it's unresolved. Your own government said so.
The outstanding issue only is, and I reiterate it, that Pakistan must accept that Kashmir is an integral part of India, and India will not under any circumstances barter away an inch of its territory.
That may be your interpretation, but the fact of the matter is that the world recognizes Kashmir as a disputed situation. The Indian government has on many occasions accepted that it has to require a final settlement.
I am afraid on account of the erroneous policies of the government of India in the late 40s and the early 50s, there was some internationalization of the issue. The last few years, the world is not willing to internationalize this issue. And let me tell you,
but bilaterally, India and Pakistan have accepted it has to be sorted out. Your government has accepted it.
After 9/11 particularly, the world is not going to listen to such separatist organizations which have used violence in order as an instrument of separatism.
Let me come to the core issue that you don't want to focus upon. It is this, that for the last 10 years, increasingly, the separatist tendency was dying down. This year, you had record turnout of tourists. And yet, what has the BJP implemented blockade in Jammu done? You've inflamed separatist tendency to the point, let me finish, to the point at which the separatists today are thanking you. Saeed Ali Shah Gilani, the most hardline Islamist of the lot, has publicly said, I thank the BJP for reviving a movement that was flagging.
Well, I don't think we need that compliment or thanks from him. Let me make it very clear. We are only supporting the demand of the Amarnath Sangharsh Samiti in Jammu, and the demand precisely is this, that you have lakhs of tourists going. The Shrine Board has a duty under law to maintain the pilgrim facilities. The Shrine Board has been legitimately transferred some land to be used during the yatra. And to this, if the separatist protests and the government of India comes to that pressure, if the government of India starts coming to pressure of separatists, then governance in India really will not have legitimacy.
It's not the fact that you're supporting